local recording in OBS. The OBS recording is started.
One judge per 2 audience members.
Exactly.
That's good.
That's enough for all of us. All right. This is the no-show.
The no-show.
Where people actually showed up. So, you know.
Oh, I didn't wear my nose shirt. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. It's fine.
I'll get it on later.
It's fine.
It's upstairs. I'm going to text my wife. I'm going to get changed.
The no is implied that all of you will fail. No, I'm kidding. This is the show where the judges sort of peel back the curtain and show you our process of judging a track live in front of you with all the sort of notes that we normally would make while judging the tracks. So we had about 8 submissions come through the panel. I've downloaded them and the sources. They're loaded into Reaper. I will have a waveform monitor to show you what's going on, kind of like what we would look at if I had Span open while judging, and we'll all give our notes. And then presumably these tracks will get the votes. I don't want to say they will be expedited, but that's the goal, is that we'll expedite some votes on these. And you can see our process. Did I miss anything?
Can't wait for one of these to be perfectly split down the middle, 3 and 3.
That we had that happen last time.
It absolutely happened last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, did I really want to make that argument after the fact? But I had already made it, so I had to double down.
Of course, that's what we do.
Brad, can you do the DJP? Yeah, we still got it.
All right. Good thing
I
Shark's not here. Okay.
I recognize the Dark Sword doesn't really want the ancient memes to continue to spread, but
throw me from a plane.
From a building.
Yes.
Get it right.
Sorry.
Throw me off the top of a building.
Anywho.
My own answer to the question, can the judges DJP, is sure, but can your track makers do it?
I didn't sub one, sorry.
Exactly. All right.
I did. It got rejected.
So I have these going in order of submission chronologically, which is going to give us Cyril first. And he's here. Awesome. He gets a front row seat to being no'd immediately. Anyway, Cyril's submission is from GameSet Mash 3, which means it's going to be 2 sources to listen through.
GameSet Mash 3. It's GameSet Mash 4.
That's right. GameSet Mash 4. Because we do have a GameSet Mash 3 in here as well, which is fun. It's fun that we have both of those. So this is a mashup from Mighty Gunvolt Burst and Mega Man X4. The Mighty Gunvolt Burst track is the water stage. This is the point at which I need to ask the rest of the judges to mute the Discord stream so that they don't hear the audio twice. The rest of you will be just fine. I'm sorry to Discord. You will not be getting this audio in stereo because Discord streams suck. It's too bad, so sad. This is Mighty Gunvolt Burst Water Stage.
They're not able to hear it. Not able to hear it.
I did this whole test with Josh earlier and it worked just fine. Let me...
Did you remember to reroute the audio in Carla?
I sure did. Let me do it again. Ooh, it reset it. We love that. Okay. Take 2. The local record got it. Carla, what did I do? Oh, you don't want to see the sorcery I had to do to make this work. There's the sorcery for right now. All right, we're going to try it again. You should hear some bullshit. That's the art button. That's not the play button. I love that the source has a hard cut. That definitely would get it a no.
Yeah. Also, the direct repetition.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah.
So
sorry, I already noted it.
So that's one source, and we have a second source, which is Cyber Peacock from Mega Man X4. I can't wait to hear you know it. Yeah, we'll see. This one is much louder, so I'll be riding that fader. This is your opportunity, judges, to mute the stream if you need to. I'm going to drop the fader a little bit, and here we go. Yeah, I'm just going to kill the loop there because that's basically the loop point.
That would get a no for the loop artifact going into the loop point.
Right. Exactly.
Alrighty.
Yeah. All right. So there is a...
Gosh, I take notes.
having listened to this in GSM, this does have a non-VGM source, but I suspect it's still going to rock pretty hard. It's Cyril. We all know it. Cyril has titled the track No Allegory Here, Move Along, which is not the original title from Game Set Mash 4. There's definitely no allegory here. Judges, you'll want to mute your Discord stream one more time, and let me make sure it doesn't cut off in Reaper while we're listening to it, because that would be hysterical if that happened. Be pretty funny. Anyway, here we go. No allegory here, move along. And of course, it starts midway through the track because I hate Reaper, and Reaper hates me. It's a mutual hate. Anyway, one more time.
We have one of the sound.
Now that's a good fade out.
Yeah. It's a fade out ending. We can't count it.
In that it didn't.
That's
It didn't have a hard cut.
No,
that was really fun. That was really fun. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
that was pretty fantastic. Got to give him credit there.
Yeah. There's a much better mix on the vocal and the guitars here versus what we heard in GSM4. Like there's much better balances, especially in the choruses. There's a little bit of out of balance thing I heard in the first pre-chorus when it seems like a centered guitar comes in with the whoosh background. Like it gets a little strange. It didn't look funky on the meter. It just sounded kind of weird in the headphones.
It's tricky to point out timestamps for that though, since
because we don't really have the thing.
Yeah.
So a couple of things that I noticed so like first of all, I mentioned in the chat about how much the chips really add to the chorus in general to make it kind of a unique, interesting idea that's like different from kind of like we got to the chorus and now we do strums. But like having that extra little rhythmic element to it was really cool, especially since the vocals also slowed down in that section too.
Agreed.
What did you all think about let's focus on the instrumental side first. Like, what did you all think about the realization of everything and from like an execution standpoint? We'll talk about that. Let's talk about the instruments and the singing and everything, and then let's talk about the arrangement.
Sure, if you want. Anyone else want to go first?
Okay, well, I mean, I can end up chipping in with something here. So I know that Cyril has a voice that can be very divisive, because that's what vocals are like on OCR. You either love them or you absolutely hate them. And I've been through experiences in the past where Cyril's overall performance, it ended up being the question as to, should this make it onto the site? Should it be refined? Every single time, I feel like it's best to chalk it up and being, Cyril is Cyril. Let him falsetto everything that he blooming well can get his hands on. So if I want to...
I was going to say, his vocal work here was pretty damn spot on. Just going to say that right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, the vocal work was fantastic here. So good job on that one.
Yes. The lessons that Cyril took earlier in the year have really paid off. Like in the last maybe 3 or 4 tracks, and you can really hear it here.
Gary, what was your favorite lyric?
I was about to go there with this too.
Well, I wasn't going to go there quite yet, but I mean, if I had to go through it a couple times, I'd probably be able to parse it out. So I'd say that the vocal balance on this is interesting, but a lot of times you can hear the vocals, but you can't really make out a lot of the words. You
can't hear a word. Yeah. Cyril, you hit crazy notes and you sang stuff that sounds amazing, and I really enjoyed some of the layering that you did for a lot of this. I can't understand a word you sang. At all. I was looking at the words and was having trouble catching that.
Yeah, so what I actually have to mention on that, because I did take some notes on the fact that the mixing is really heavy on the guitar portion. The vocals do cut through, but you can't understand what they are, for one. When the vocals actually drop into lower registers, you often can't hear them either. So you got to be careful on the mixing, especially on your slightly weaker ranges. Not weaker as in problematic, weaker as in you can't belt it as hard when you're singing lower. So when you have like thick guitars happening, the synth going on, it's difficult to hear the vocals punch through that. It happened a lot more towards the end of the middle end of the song too,
where it kind of got down.
Yeah, where the vocals go lower.
But I don't want to like say like, oh, you did a terrible job. Like, no, like
I
really think that in terms of what you wrote for what you were supposed to be singing, like notes wise, I thought you did a really great job executing on that. I'm sure that there was some pitch adjustment in there somewhere. There was a little bit of pitchiness at the very beginning, and then there was like nothing the rest of the time, and it didn't sound like it had been adjusted or anything like that. So that was really well done. I really felt that was well done. The issue that I had, at least through the version of the stream that we are using, which granted is remote and everything like that, was that I couldn't really understand the words. But like the instrumental element of it, like the sound of the band tone, I mean, it was like, it was like pro. Like it sounded like a real thing. So that was really well handled. I really thought the band especially did a great job.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that
Yeah,
it skirts enough outside of.
Let Bev talk.
Yes, okay.
you got to be careful with assessing rock tracks in particular, because when it sounds like you're facing excitement, particularly with the background instrumentation, it takes several listens to understand whether there's in a lot of gratuitous cut and paste, which is a very big flaw for rock artists in particular. You don't really want to end up going through the whole thing and hear the same beats throughout. I'm not saying that Cyril had done this. I trust that Cyril has ended up offering a more varied soundscape, but it's always important to look out for these things.
Yeah. Actually, speaking on that, if you don't mind me kind of following up on that, really like the synth work that was happening kind of on some of the chorus portions.
Yeah, they were
Couldn't really couldn't really hear it very well though behind the guitar. It's always nice when you can hear your stuff. Just saying, you know, if you're gonna have it, definitely have it pop out at least a little bit.
Seth, can you go back and just like play the first chorus, like roughly where it was?
Yeah.
Just kind of take a guess.
Let's see if I can hunt it down.
Let's just take another listen.
So back after the verse.
I was paying more attention as to whether I could hear Cyril's conviction through the consonants rather than the chip, but then I also hear that as well.
Yeah, I really think that chorus overall, like the concept there, where when it hits and it's it's a different feel and everything. I think that's great writing to the way that it dovetails all together.
Yeah, arrangement wise, it is good. I did hear a sour note in the chips. Did you guys hear that?
I didn't catch it. I want to hear it again, not on the stream.
It's like one or two notes, but it's not very much. But it's hard to hear it because it was hard to hear it in the mix the first time, so I missed it.
I was taking notes as we were listening live and handwriting them, so I felt that the chips overall were actually buried in the mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Can barely hear them.
So like, what would you want to pull down there, though? Like, I feel like when somebody said, "Oh, the chips are buried," when we were just sort of listening that last time around, there wasn't really one thing that stuck out to me as being too loud. But I agree, I would like to hear more of them.
Yeah, it's a matter of them coming up and the other stuff maybe coming down just a little bit, like in the aggregate.
Yeah, if nothing sticks out as being too loud, then that means everything's too loud if you want to bring something up.
Right, and they're written in a range that they should be cutting through anyways because they're just on top of everything. I also wrote, you probably can't see it here, but it says lyric clarity, and I put a sad face.
Oh. And, listening to it again, just listening to a lot of parts where it was going through the verse, I can understand it when I'm listening for it, but it's hard to parse out when you're listening to everything kind of as an aggregate. So it could be a issue of just, it's just not loud enough in the mix, lyrically speaking.
Well,
or maybe it's sharing
that's an EQ. There's some EQ stuff you can do to boost that. Yeah.
Yeah. EQ is kind of the next thing. Is like some of the EQ channels might be crowding into themselves. The guitar and the vocals might be sharing some of the same EQ ranges, which causes clarity issues. Because I don't think the singing was the problem as far as clarity goes, except maybe some of the falsetto. But who cares? Who cares? Falsetto sounds cool. Don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Very Iron Maidenish.
I think Cyril did a really good job in the arrangement of like not hewing too close to the non-VGM source. Like, you can tell that this is based on Muse in the structure and a little bit of the direction of the riffs, but I think there's plenty enough of this change to be more of the 2 VGM pieces, and that's really hard to do.
I didn't even notice the other source, so yeah, that was fine.
I remarked that it sounded like what would have happened if Firewind went in a more old rock direction, but then you mentioned Muse, and I was like, yep, it clicks.
Yeah, like,
yeah, it feels, yeah.
It's very Stockholm Syndrome, but there's enough filed off of that to kind of disguise it. Like, if you don't know that it's Stockholm Syndrome, it would fly right by you.
No, I can hear it. Yeah, it's been a decade since I've listened to it, but.
Hey, that was also a Bahamut Lagoon remix that I've heard of Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. I think that's really well handled. I have the same notes about the vocal mix in terms of trying to like get clarity on what's being said. You can hear the vocal. Like, it's understanding the vocal and what it's saying. That it might be the tempo, it might be the words themselves.
Yeah, you're going to laugh at me. I actually think the vocals are probably too loud in the mix. And I think that they were made that loud to make them clearer. But I think that actually if we crank the volume way down on this and you listen to it, there's a while where all you hear is the vocals. And then you start to hear the others. That's one of the things I always use when I'm putting live instruments in a mix. It's so easy to make the live instruments be way louder than the other stuff. And so, but I think it was done to make it clear what was being said, which I understand.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, I probably have to like listen to it once or twice more to get a feel for where the balance should be. Well, on a first pass, you can only really hear that the balance isn't perfect. But I mean, balance isn't terrible either. We have to give credit where it's due.
The track sounds really good.
Exactly.
Let's be clear here. This is, to me, this would be a clear yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's certainly things I would like to be different, but there's always things I would like to be different because I am different.
Exactly. I would probably pass this one. I mean, I have my criticisms, but we always have our criticisms, unless we don't, in which case it was a perfect song. So shut up.
Josh can't vote on it, but what about everybody else?
Yeah, I would.
3 others.
I'd go one.
Beth, can you go back to about? I don't know if it's bars. Is that what that count is in the bottom left there?
Bottom left is measures in 120, but this isn't. It's not at 120. So
it was about 25, somewhere between 25 and 30. I thought I was hearing some like pitchiness in the vocal, so I just wanted to double check.
There was some in like the first chorus for sure.
Yeah, but after that it was good.
Or the first verse, I mean.
Yeah. I'll just run it from the start of the verse after the intro.
Just wanted to hear it again.
Yep. In 2 passes. That's enough?
Yeah, it's just under there.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and if I had to complain about one thing from an arrangement perspective on this track, because I really like the arrangement and the way stuff dovetailed together. I know Cyber Peacock very well, and I still wasn't catching some of the transition points. But starting out with a super high thing right off the bat, even with how energetic it was, it didn't really give the track anywhere to go. Now, that said, the chorus is still the highlight of the track, so you obviously figured something out. But if you would have, for example, started like a 4th lower and then had a crazy like go up a 4th key signature change coming out of that, like if you even just going into the section that we just heard or something like that, like having a big key signature change even early on would have allowed the track to kind of have a little bit more of a slope and then coming down. That would be the only thing I would complain, and I'm not even saying that what's here is bad. I'm just saying that's another option that you could have used.
Yeah,
I guess if you talk in the muse comparison, then that sounds a lot like Butterflies and Hurricanes. So that also starts on a lower octave, and then when it gets up towards the second chorus, it becomes higher up still. So if Cyril was echoing muse, then that would be in a great direction to go for. It is what it is, though.
I have to give some credit too. I don't hear this very often in a lot of arrangements. So starting off kind of in the middle of Cyber Peacock is definitely an interesting choice, and I kind of liked it myself because most people might start kind of in the beginning, which is where kind of the chorus goes. The verse felt like it kind of hit the peak of the source. So I just thought that was an interesting approach. I kind of liked it myself because I didn't expect it. You know, it's fun to get surprised. So, that's just praise, and that's not criticism.
So I think we're all digging it. So this will take a while to go through voting to make sure we still reject it, because we have a lot of yes votes here already.
You've done stuff like that, just want to keep it in E throughout. I don't know why. It is the traditional metal method. Keep it in E.
Yeah, keep it in E so you can tune your guitar to drop C.
Put it in H.
Oh, baby. Yeah, why doesn't it even do H tuning?
Some of us here took music theory.
That's right.
Yeah. That's B natural tuning, baby.
The classic.
Hey, I took music theory.
All right. So I think are we good on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're good. Cyril said to reject it, so I guess we'll reject it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really nice job, Connor. Really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
All right. Let's scroll my notes.
That's right. Next up in chronological order, we would have Just Stay Kalm with a K. This is from Final Fantasy VII Original. And
at least it's not from a common one.
That's right. Oh, yeah. You definitely have never heard this track
Mega
before.
Man, Final Fantasy. We're not beating the allegations. The next one's Chrono Trigger, isn't it?
Actually, the next one,
the
next one, I don't think is on the site yet, and that's fine. So we got to do a really popular one first. The source track is On Our Way, which if you're American, you might think is Ahead on Our Way, confusingly like the one from Final Fantasy V. It's just On Our Way. You all know this track. You probably don't know it by name.
Now you're throwing me off because it's Final Fantasy V. But
well, it's 7. You'll know it. You don't know it by name. You know it by song. And judges, this is your cue to mute the Discord stream. Right. So that's the source.
Right.
Very typical Nobuo Uematsu funness. All right. So this is by Absent and Unset, who I unsent. I could speak English. Who I believe is Abdulp, 1984, in the old Discord.
Way to like dead name him. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm just going by what the artist's notes says on the site. If That's right. Larry missed the good stuff. That's all the stuff. He
Thanks
missed
for that,
all
Larry.
of it.
We don't listen to Larry, don't worry.
Absent and undone. No, you typed it right. I can't speak. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway, just stay calm. Exclamation mark. This would be a good time to mute the Discord stream unless you're Larry, because I don't think Larry is in the Sonobus. So here we go.
Huh?
Alrighty
That's a
then.
fun idea for the end. That's actually, I actually really like that end take.
Yeah.
Well, I see that a lot of people are mentioning things like copy pasta in the chat, a bit of dissonance, but why are people not hearing what I heard?
Never know. I got a whole list of things.
Zero. Okay, so first of all, the biggest thing that I thought was like, this thing has zero arrangements. I mean, the only thing that's really added on
Yep.
top of the source is all of these drum loops. And while
Yep.
they were fun to end up doing all of these breaks, it's still 2 run-throughs on the source, and then bam, that funny ending that Brad liked. But
So,
it
well,
just, yeah.
so let's just make sure that we clarify this. So
Yeah.
there is arrangement in the sense of that the instrumentation has been updated and adjusted. So like there is some stuff there, but I agree that I didn't hear anything that was specifically added to what was there. And I also agree that the layout is basically the same as the original.
Yeah, I would have to say it kind of sounds like, and I'm not accusing anybody of this because it might be coincidence, but it sounds like it was a kind of a MIDI rip with a new instrumentation placed on top and a layer of drums placed underneath. Interesting drums. I mean, they were fun to listen to for sure, but I mean, it doesn't sound quite interpretive enough to the source material. That's kind of my initial for immediate thing. So Rex,
Well,
that was in my notes.
Even with like the drums, changing up section to section, within them they're still too static.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're static too.
Very.
So one thing I would say that would overall, so like we agree that this, I like the concept. I think that the idea of taking, like I said in the chat, like a really pastoral, straightforward theme, and then like, giving it Mountain Dew and telling it to go run around a house. Like I like that idea. I actually think that's kind of like a fun concept.
Mm-hmm.
If the first thing you did was take the kit that you were using or the loop that you were using and shorten all of the samples so that snare was like, like a snap, not like a super long snare. And like some of the other elements, like the kick was really long, and so it all hung on for a long time. If you were able to kind of trim down some of those and shape those samples a little bit more, I think right there, that's going to add a lot to it. Because the snare, as it was like literally half the song that the snare sound was playing, and it was the loudest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think from there, if the next thing you did was take a little time to add more absent and undone, and so it's not mostly the notes and the stuff that we got from Uematsu, I think that would really help as well.
And I'm going to add this as well, because it's not only that the notes were the same per se, the leads and everything, it's also the textures were the same. Yeah. Everything was the same. So, I mean, sometimes less is more. If you want to keep kind of the calm sense of it, you can get rid of a couple of things Uematsu did, and maybe later on, or if it fits in the moment, add something of your own underneath it that fits more with the fast pace of the drums. If you want to keep the calm sound, serene sound of the lead at the very least. So it was definitely a little bit too close to the source there.
Going back to what Greg just mentioned about taking away some of the accompaniments and putting in some of your own, that is actually really fun. And I'm also going to give you a little bit of listening materials, Abdul in particular. Please look up the works of Soichi Terada, because this was exactly what this reminded me of. Terada created the soundtrack for Ape Escape, which is one of my favorite OSTs on the PS1, and the overall execution reminded me a lot of what was put together with that.
Going into the synth choices, I thought they were a bit simple and could use some sophistication. And what I mean by that is they could use movement, modulation, filtering, changing of some kind while they're still doing whatever they're doing. So that way we have some sense of evolution and change within them as they're playing.
Yeah, I didn't actually take that note, but yeah, that is a good point. Whenever somebody has synths that are vanilla, I like to just ask, why did you make it that synth? That's a question you should always ask yourself. Is like, why did I use this synth specifically? If you don't have an answer to that, it might be time to look for something else.
Well, even just a matter of taking a little bit of time. Everything should do something. Like we think about music, we think about where it's going and what it's doing. We don't necessarily just say like sometimes you're like, oh, I like that sound. but like it doesn't play that sound the whole song. So you want to kind of think about how you want to be intentional about why you're choosing a specific thing, and it's not just because that was the thing that you put in there. I catch myself often putting like basic stuff in there initially and then moving on to get the arrangement done, and then I wind up leaving that basic stuff in too long. And so I often will just go back and be like, all right, we're just changing this up. We're going to do something else with this.
And then I have a square wave again, damn it.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good square wave, but you know, when it's got some other sauce happening with it, like you got some LFO adjusting, you know, the pulse width, you've got it
sauce.
Yeah, you just got something feeding in. Like it's not far away from a yes. No. There's like, I would say subtractive stuff to the arrangement would be really helpful. Because you don't want to murder the vibe. What you have here with the instrumentation is good. I probably would look at like, what can you pull out of the melody without directly interfering with it that still keeps what you have going on? Is there ways to take the harmony instruments and, like, I think Zach said it pretty, easily, take the harmony and turn it into arps. Like, what can you take out of the block chords and turn them to be more rhythmic with what you have inside the breakbeats? And
alternatively, don't even use those harmonies. Sometimes that can help give you some ideas as well.
For sure.
I think my apologies. I'm just saying, I think this is a little bit of ways away from OCR, not because the arrangement is bad or anything, just because the arrangement right now is just too much like the source with drums under it. It will take a little bit of work to make it,
We gotta be careful with these softening phrases, though, a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. I say that myself. Well, that's why I know it's harder to talk in person and try not to hurt feelings, but I mean, I guess that is my job.
It's not just me.
No, it's the arrangement is too conservative in my humblest opinion, and it would need to significantly break from that to be something that I could consider for the site. So I wouldn't soft pedal it and say it's almost there or anything. Unfortunately, I feel like the bad guy now.
Right.
Yeah. So
man,
Abdul,
nothing wrong with being bad.
Oh, come on from you.
Seriously though, taking a step back here. So do you have a reference track for kind of like a vibe you were going through? I'm not saying you have to have that, but I would recommend, especially with something that's kind of a stylistic niche, to have a thing that you're kind of trying to aim at, and then figure out why you like it. So I often find that my reference tracks for my stuff doesn't actually sound anything like what I wind up making, but there's some specific element that I really am into, and I try and see if I can get that same feel in what I'm working on. I would encourage you to make sure that you have that, and to be intentional about it. I think that would really make a lot.
I think being intentional is probably the strongest point to make. Yeah. Like I was saying with the vanilla instruments, have a reason for it. Be intentional. If you're gonna have something be vanilla, have a reason for it. Vanilla's not always bad. Sometimes that's exactly what you need, but make sure you need it.
Also, it just kind of bears repeating. Take that snare sample and throw that into the sun.
Well, you gotta
you
gotta start somewhere.
I'm sure there's a world where a very doorstop spring kind of slapback snare thing can work. I don't think it works very well here because it tries to draw too much attention to itself and away from the melodic elements. And I think that's what Prof is getting at with something that's shorter and snappier.
Yeah, there are things about it. It's not wonderful to listen to through the whole run through of the track. I don't think that you need to jettison it into the sun, but it's one sample that I think that you can flip about 4 or 5 ways, and you would find elements in the track to deploy versions of that and still get it to work.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Honestly, that kind of snare reminds me of the kind of snare I might use for something that, like for a splicer that splices the actual sample and kind of breaks it apart. That's the kind of snare I would use for something like that because there's a lot to break apart.
Yeah,
just as the raw snare is kind of tricky.
Really too, right?
Had a
an
nice
envelope
tail.
on some of this stuff, and then fool with the envelope would do a lot of really fun stuff.
Yeah, that's that feels about the snare. That's how I feel about the kick.
Yeah.
Throw it out.
Something that I do want to highlight about the kick that I thought was kind of fun is that, especially, you can hear it in the A section about every 4 bars. There's some pan automation going on in the kick because when we get the doom doom, it's bouncing all over the place, which is neat. I don't know if it necessarily works all the time. Certainly not something I'd want to catch as an indicator that we've got a 4-bar loop happening. But I like the idea of that.
Thing, right? Like you go and you do a thing because it's fun to do the thing. So
yeah, it's fun to do the thing. For something at this pace, I think the kick should be tighter. I think that's the
I want the tightest kit I can get. I feel like for something like this, if you want to distort it and make it nasty and do other stuff as you go into it, cool. But I feel like the vibe here, at least initially, really wanted a super tight, snappy kit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's again, that's me, right? Like that's not.
I agree. Because
let me ask as the only listener judge on the call, the only non-musician on the call. I'm curious, right? Because
where what we have works for
Josh.
Larry,
section.
you can't hear Larry, but he's Larry's not on the Sonobus.
Yeah.
Thing.
Oh, no worries. Hold on. Yeah, I'll get on that at some point. Let me ask you guys though, real quick. Considering how this sounds pretty beginnerish, to be fair, and I'm sure with no accusations there, right? But I'm curious, in the sort of walk before you run approach, are there kind of maybe like 1 or 2 things that you would summarize, because y'all have had some really good advice, but sort of like at the most basic level, what would you recommend as sort of like 3 things to try?
Yeah, the arrangement can't pass. It doesn't matter how good the song sounds. The arrangement
No, of course,
be able to pass right now.
Right.
So
no, I got you. Forget that. I mean, just in terms of like, not with the objective to pass, but with the objective to be more, creative and interpretive with the music making in general.
Yeah, the other thing I would say is that overall, it was fairly static. We all noted that there was a lot of stuff that felt like it was copied or it was looped between the different sections. So having a range or an arc to the song would help a lot, and that's where having a reference track can help, because it helps kind of build that in there. And then the third thing I would say to focus on would be a couple of us have mentioned intentionality, being really intentional about the choices that you're making in terms of like, why am I having this chord just sustained for 16 bars? Why am I choosing this lead? Do I want it to move? Do I want it to go places? Do I want to put more absent and undone on this melody and take a little bit away from Uematsu? Like, how do I want to handle it? So that would be those would be the 3 key things that I would say, if you can take some time and spend time on each, would really make a big difference here. Would anybody else disagree, agree, whatever?
I don't necessarily. I agree with those comments. I will add one thing just to kind of end, if this is the end on a brighter note. It seems like one of the things that you wanted to do with this song was surprise, and there's a lot of whimsy. Like especially in the beginning, you play just that solo part, and then you hit somebody in the face with the drums. And at the end, there's that part too that kind of made us laugh.
Yeah.
That stuff is good. If you want to lean into something like that, maybe you can plan around something like that.
Yeah,
make that your point of
planning.
planning.
Bobs and stuff. Yeah,
if you want to make it funny, there's room for that on here. I got a kick out of some of that. So you know what? If you want to lean into that for a song, like that's your idea. It's like, oh, this would be funny if I do that. Build your song around that. That could be a good starting point. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Anybody else got a thing they want to say besides Larry? Because he's only hearable by some of us.
I think we covered everything.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Absent and Undone, for hanging out and listening to us shit on you for 20 minutes straight.
Poor guy.
And you didn't even have to pay for it. Like, this is great. So
kinky.
We love it.
All right, next one up.
Yep. All right. So we've got Daniel Caton has a sub for Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. Drake's Fortune. I cannot talk right now. This is the Nate's theme from Drake's Fortune. Is the source being remixed here, which is what we're going to play through. The name of the remix is Cassie's Fortune. Awesome. So we'll do Nate's first, and judges, this is your time to mute Discord. And once we play through the source, we'll hear the remix.
I know you're saying in the chat that people can't remember much of Uncharted, but this is definitely the most memorable song
This
in the
is the
entire
one that
series.
everybody
Yes,
knows.
100%.
I haven't played Uncharted in 15 years, 10 years, whatever it is, and as soon as I heard it, I recognized it immediately.
It's good stuff.
That is a nice drink you got there.
This?
Oh, yeah, it just looks nice.
Not me thinking it was the arrangement, not the source. Right.
Oh, okay.
2020 prep, 2022. It's like motor oil, man. Fantastic.
Wow.
Okay, well, never mind. Maybe it isn't great. Just look nice from.
What is this stuff?
Yeah.
Could inspire me to make a White Russian show.
Exactly.
14%. It's ridiculous.
Hey.
We're gonna find out if it's necessary or not.
Wait, for a beer? Jesus.
All right, so let's do this. Whose song is this?
So this is Daniel Caton's. Frog Ninja Dan, I think, is the Ninja Frog Dan in Discord. Not in the call, because we're up way too late for them. However, they've done Nate's theme from Uncharted Drake's Fortune, and they have titled it Cassie's Fortune, which should give us a clue about how this is going to go. So if you are a judge on the Discord, this is your opportunity to mute, because I'm going to play back, and we don't want feedback. So here we go.
This may be my scribbly notes, but I didn't hear any source until that final third there.
That was it, huh?
That's
Shame.
it. Yeah, I felt like I think I got a lot of build, and I don't know if I got the payoff that I wanted.
Nah, the payoff.
Definitely tense for sure.
That was a lot of play without a 3-4-5-1-8 at the end.
Yeah,
They didn't do the Hollywood explosion at the end, but you know what? Sometimes you don't need it.
Definitely an edger on
So
this
I'm
one.
going to be really honest. I listened to that whole thing and I was just like so excited waiting for the eventual drop. I didn't pay attention to source at all. Did someone else?
It's kind of hard to
I
catch
didn't
the
get to
source
hear
on
the
the first
source,
pass,
so-
but I kind of heard some
don't
of the Harrison Ford.
I have
There's
some
probably
very
some
scribbled
source
notes
there.
as to how the melody goes, and I didn't catch anything until the final third.
Yeah, I think this is one we'd probably have to really compare and do a stopwatch with, but I don't think we can do that live. That'd be a little tricky.
I will say, as far as source recognition goes, listen for the piano.
There we go.
I
think the problem in
is
my
pretty
end is-
clear in the piano melody.
Yeah, my problem is I'm not familiar enough with the source, so I have to get familiar with that, then compare it. So, I only heard the source once, which was played here.
yeah, and the source doesn't. It's not like it's an A/B loop. Like that 2 minutes of material is like the material. So we definitely, like, I would have to go through and do the same thing as Gario.
He's not here. Let's play the source again and let's listen to it a second time.
Then
It's a
I
short-
can hear it for
short,
the
it's
first
not
time.
long.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
All right.
Oh, we're doing the stopwatching? Okay.
Yeah, source round 2.
Yeah, what the hell?
Let's get a little familiar.
I love this game.
It's so Ennio Morricone.
Sounds funny, Hollywood. Greg just
Yeah, he's not
described
wrong.
the seventh. He just described the 7th gen of consoles for sure.
Yeah. I mean, every PS3 game had so much of that same kind of concept. But I just mean like the original one, like the balance and everything is really well done. It's got just enough of that like bite from the trombones and euphoniums and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
the
so let's take a
orchestration
listen to
on it's
this.
pretty solid.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Is that the B material?
Sounds like a little bit of the A, but transformed.
I think it's the part that comes right after that initial brass fanfare. Yeah.
this is the more somber brass, which I noted as section B.
So it's easy to see the songs the judges like because they repeat them twice. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, I definitely.
LT, mute yourself somewhere. Mute yourself in one place. I don't care where, just somewhere.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I definitely heard more source of it having like A-B'd like immediately into it. There's a lot that's happening in that, especially in the end. Rexy, what you said, like the last third, like really captures it. I agree. I think that there's smattering of it in that intro and in that opening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The source tune.
Yeah, and I think
there was some transformation on like the section 8-bit right at the start, and then you had the piano carrying that as it did. Then it became more overt. They went into the more soulful brass starting that was heard in the source starting around the 40 bar in mark, according to Seth's DAW.
Yeah, and I think the beginning.
Yeah.
So sorry, I thought you were done.
No, it's okay. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done actually.
Oh no,
we're done.
Just also mentioning, I think the beginning part where it was more atmospheric, I think a lot of the harmonies were kind of based on the source too. Though I can only give like half credit for that because harmonies are harmonies, but that does kind of prep you up for the source material if you're more familiar with it. Yeah, so who's echoing? Because I hear some echoes going on.
It is almost certainly because we are not all the same between Sonobus and Discord, and we need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
Larry,
think I
you're
need to.
Great.
I think I need to clarify for Larry. When I'm asking you to mute in Discord, I'm asking you to mute the stream so that you don't hear the super hyper compressed Discord stream on top of Sonobus.
Can everybody hear Larry?
Yeah,
well, I just love it.
Something. Can people hear Larry?
Yeah.
I thought Larry suddenly sounded like he drank a whole bunch of helium, but I heard
Can
him.
people hear Rexy?
That was me. Yeah.
Rexy, say some words. Can people hear Rexy?
Beep 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 beep.
I just muted everybody on Sono. There, now it's not echoey.
All right.
I hear Rexy in Discord.
I think, this is an interesting one though, because like conceptually, I really enjoy there's a lot going on here. It's a really cool track, and the fact that I wanted to do something else isn't necessarily negative. But the question is, did it have? Like, just because I wanted to go to do this big slam bam crash thing on it, is that necessarily? Like, I recognize that that's probably my preference of where I wanted it to go.
Yes, you are a
what
terrible
it does
person.
here. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing technically wrong with what happened here, except it does feel a little bit like a tease. I'm okay with it, though.
What?
Personally, I thought the tease was fine. But
a tease?
I will... A tease! I will say...
Go on.
I think that Zach pointed out a pretty good point, which is hard for me to say out loud. Jokes aside. But I think that it would have been really nice for it to do other things, but what was here was still really cool.
If you heard this,
this is a really cool track.
Yeah, if you heard this like in a movie, you wouldn't mind as because you'd have other things going on. But because we're focusing in on the track itself, it's kind of easy to hear that it does sound like it could do something else, but it doesn't. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of that.
Yeah, and
that's what Larry's getting across. If the intent was to write it like a dynamic movie queue, then by all means go all ham.
Yeah, and by the way, none of what I'm saying is like it points it to being bad at all, or even unpreferred. I kind of like what it did. I mean, just because Brad over there hates it, that's not me.
Yeah, to be clear, I would pass this. I'm not saying, assuming I would need to spend a minute looking at not more than a minute. I need to spend 2.5 minutes looking at the source content, but I feel like there's probably a preponderance there, and that would be my only real complaint. I just wish it did something different, but whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I feel the same way. It's just not a huge range of dynamics. There's not a whole lot of motion going on in the middle. Like I almost felt like there actually was kind of a lack of like middle frequencies at times. I was hearing a lot of high-end percussion and then just low-end brass and strings down there. I felt like I was missing something there, aside from like homophonic motion the whole time with no counter melodies. So that would be nice to hear, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we need that to have it pass. So it's just like nice to have versus we don't vote on potential. That's something we say often.
No. Unless we do. But I will add some points of criticism on this. When it comes to the lows, especially in the beginning when they had the really deep, rich, low instrument drone playing and the kicks, I felt like they kind of got a little bit messed. The mix kind of got a little bit messed up when you had those low kicks with the low drone.
There was a bunch of 10 hertz nonsense going on.
They really could have shaped the kicks so that the kicks came out better, so that you could still hear the drone, but then shave a space for the kicks when the kicks do hit. Yeah, that could have really helped bring it up quite a bit more. Yeah, so I mean, this isn't like perfect. There are criticisms alike, and I'm not gonna say no to it because I have criticisms. Nothing's perfect, but yeah, I would point that out to somebody in the write up for sure, just so that they know something to do maybe next time.
I think I'm basically in the same boat as you and Brad.
Yeah. Also, I have to mention the percussion towards the middle, where it's a lot of highs and maybe some mids. That actually is a good thing for a track like this because of all the really heavy stuff going on in the low. It didn't clash with that, so actually it's something I appreciated about the track.
I really liked that element.
Yeah,
I thought it sounded great. It was just what that section needed to make it feel unique.
Yeah, it fills it up. It was good. So see, we can be nice on here.
I would echo those comments. I think this one's a lot of fun. Not necessarily for folks who are looking for the 3, 4, 5, 1, 8 at the end. Definitely one for the edgers.
My gosh.
I'd be a conditional on this one.
Wow.
Because
why are you
one thing I've noticed?
Conditional.
So this track clips in the mid channel 3 times over the course of the playback, and so those would need to be fixed prior to us posting it.
It is twice.
With the MP3.
I didn't reset it the second time.
Did you hear where it happened though?
Yeah, I could see that being a possible issue, but I mean, at worst, it would be conditional.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
And that's a maybe.
I didn't hear clips. I mean, I can see 2 peaks, but I didn't hear like obnoxious distortion from it, so I wouldn't be like all that upset about it.
I'm sure that's something I would have noticed if I was actually listening to it in my tools that I use, as opposed to over this thing.
We've had things past that had over 10,000 instances of clipping, but you couldn't tell. So
yeah, I mean, I was anytime you're going to slap conditional on a vote. I mean, I always look at it through the lens of if the artist said the project files are gone, like my computer exploded. This is what we have. Are you going to say yes or are you going to say no? And I mean, if it really is still conditional, but even with that in mind, no problem. But if it's not,
poor blind.
I would.
Yeah, that's why there's an
decide.
edit button on the votes.
Yeah, of course.
You gotta be careful with what you put the conditional on. Like, I remember there was one such conditional on that I was like, yes, I want to hear a good cleanup on this one, though, because
Yeah,
I know you can
cleaning
just
up
do that.
is. Yeah. Conditional is almost safe for like if there's like an error at the end of the track.
Yeah.
It's like at the end. It's like, well,
I
that's
used to
Yeah,
crazy.
but
recently
yeah.
on a
Forgot about
track that
Clean up on an error.
had
Clip the
just
bunch.
had fractional amounts of clipping, like 900 times. So it was
Yeah.
like just the tiniest
Yep.
bit, but it was the entire track. And I was like, look, just
Yep.
bump your master channel down by 5% and re-render it, and we're good. Like
Yeah,
that's all
but-
we need.
Yeah, by cleanup, I was hoping for something quieter so that I didn't distort the wave that, I mean, the minor waves that it was doing. But as it turned out, the project file was lost, and the sad thing was that we had to put no on it.
Ah. Well,
So like I said earlier, I would vote yes on this.
Oh, yeah,
There's
this is
certain
a yes
things
vote.
I
Yeah,
wish
it's
that would be
kinda-
different, but that's
Yeah.
because it's the thing that I didn't do, and that, like that's always going to be the case. You're going to find that, but I think there's some really cool stuff there, and I think that's going to be somebody's favorite track that they heard this year.
yeah, no, that's a yes track. Let's be
That's
real.
That's an easy yes. Yeah.
So I'll do this. I'll cover up the no shirt.
Right.
Aww.
It's a layup with 3 Ys.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah,
of you.
yeses make him cold.
He's
Yeah,
so
to cover
nice.
up.
There's a reason I have
Like-
all of this stuff over here for when I'm working at my work desk, which is right there.
Oof.
It's like 59 degrees down here.
Woo.
what's the next
Golly.
one?
Him chilly,
In Southern
He's freezing.
California, I don't know anything below 75.
right? All right.
Somebody
next one's
send him a
Joker's.
hot cocoa.
Yeah, we got.
Or
I don't heat my
dog.
basement. I'm cheap.
That's right.
Oh, which track are we on now?
So up next, we have some David L. Puga action. We got some Hollow Knight.
El Puga.
That's right.
Oh, Hollow Knight. Okay.
Yes, Hollow Knight.
Ooh.
Reflection
Alright.
is the source track. So this would be an excellent time for the judges to mute the stream audio and
you.
possibly their
refuse.
mics. Otherwise, you're going to hear something garbled, and then you're going to be like, oh, it sounds like crap, and I'm going to wonder why.
Gonna hear this.
Yes. This might be another.
It's going to be trickier to identify a source when
Yeah.
in comparison to learning the Uncharted theme.
Can we listen to that again?
Yeah, I think we're going to need to because I heard it and I'm like, what the hell was it?
Well, so the main melody lines is the da 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 da, like the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets used
Ironically,
in a couple different places.
it might be a little easier because it's basically one source.
There's so
among-
little to grab onto.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also kind of got stuck listening to that glissando line, and I was kind of got lost.
I'm
I
glad
got
I'm not.
stuck on the fact that it wasn't Shovel Knight.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was like, can we hear it again?
Let's listen to it again. Commitment to open fists and octaves through that is so cool. Like it's just there's like so little of it is actually minor or major. It's just tons of fourths and fifths stacked. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like an open. That's always fun to work with.
I mean, like it sounds. I don't know if you remember like chordal and quintal harmony. Like
Yeah.
it feels like that, like mid '60s classical works.
I've written a couple of things like that back in college. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like Koyaanisqatsi, Cenotaph, some of that stuff. It's a lot of that same concept. Anyway, sorry.
It's good stuff.
Very chordal.
Yeah. DLP has not yet come back, and that's fine. He'll come back probably just as we're finishing, and then take the no right in the face. So this is DLP with Rest and Relax. That should tell us everything we need to know, right? It's a good idea to mute your Discord audio stream again.
Wow. How interesting.
Well, that did something.
Can we listen to it again? It's really short.
Yeah, we're going
Look,
to
there's Joker.
Sure, if you want.
Yeah, I mean that was really short. Let's listen.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
Yeah, I would definitely. So through whatever program we're using to do this, Sonobus. So I'm hearing the arrangement through my speakers, and so I'd rather hear it through my headphones. But when it's playing the music for us, at least on my computer, it's coming in through the speakers rather than the headphones. So I'm not able to hear every single detail, but what I do hear, melodically conservative, but then everything is about sort of the texture and the overall just kind of the differences in the soundscape. So yeah, I'd really have to kind of A/B it just to feel fully comfortable with it. But what I heard sounds like a melodically conservative arrangement that I would pass. But again, I need to get the full picture.
Yeah, actually, I kind of hold a similar opinion, but kind of coming in on an opposite direction. Like you said, it is conservative, and the song is supposed to be about kind of the atmosphere, but the atmosphere doesn't really do too much throughout. It is what it is, and it kind of stays where it needs and where it wants to be for the 2 minutes that it runs. I'm not sure. I know it might sound harsh, but I'm not sure I would pass this simply based on the fact that it's like very one note and how it approaches itself. It's pretty static in a way, with only two bass swells that come in to break things up. Like it's very pretty. It's very pretty, by the way. But so is the source. It's pretty because the source is.
Well, I mean, one thing I would say on that, on again, sort of like the having a static feel, is that again, that's why I want to really hear it on my headphones as opposed to my laptop speakers, so I can really better appreciate the details in there.
Understood.
Yeah, but what do others think?
I would say that I think. Oh, sorry, Bev.
No, you go first. You jump straight in.
Okay, sorry. So I think that with a track like this, I think it's overstating it to say that it's melodically conservative. And the reason I say that, understating it, because we need to not look at an original track that had like 4 notes that we're grabbing onto. Like a lot of the original tracks, the thing that made it was the feel throughout and was kind of what's the best way of putting it? Not like how it made you feel or something like that, but there's the atmosphere and the way that it was able to kind of generate a concept. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of real textural arrangement in this version. It is fairly straightforward with the vibe that it made, but at the same time, I feel there's actually some pretty transformative concepts that it does in terms of the textural. It's not really like pointillism or something like that, but the way that they're able to use like timbre arrangement to influence and direct some of the arrangement as well. So like I know like Zach said in there he felt it was too conservative and just covers it. I don't agree at all that this is a cover.
So it's not a cover. No. I wouldn't go that direction.
But I definitely feel like there's just because the backing elements are like not a thing that is from the original, I don't want to make it be like, oh, whatever, it's not anything. I feel that the overall soundscape that's created is pretty well handled. Like it's short. I wish it was longer.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why I might be coming is because it's short. If it's going to be short and have a single idea,
it's got to be pretty.
It's got to be.
I agree with that.
Pretty peak on that. So that's kind of. But I would need to listen to this more to really hear what's going on in the background. I don't think I could give this a strong yes or strong no based on this showing alone, because it does sound very good. But I really have to compare it to the source and say, is it that the source sounds really good and they took that atmosphere and enhanced it, or is it something that they did that really is unique to them that they put into this source? So I just don't hear it yet. I'd have to give this more. I would have to give this more thought and sit on.
Yeah. What about some of the other J's?
How did you
Sorry.
guys feel about the like non-chord tone at about 40?
I loved it.
Did you?
I
It really,
loved it
it
so
really,
much.
really, really stood out to me because we were in that same space with the open voicings, and all of a sudden we get something that's not, and so it really stands out to me. So I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know. It'll take a few listens before I can decide that because
what did you
it
think
only
about the-
happens that one time.
What did you think of, so aside from that, what did you think about the arrangement, the soundscape, the concept, whatever?
It
This is
feels
definitely-
underdeveloped to me because it shows so short.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, let's let Bev say. She's tried to
Yeah,
cut
go
it a
ahead.
couple times.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know, it's okay. I mean, oh, excuse me there. This is one of those sources that really does not have a lot to echo on with, which is what Brad is saying. But with assessed tracks on the panel, I've had way less to work with and having to interpret with what it has. While I can't necessarily compare this this work from David to what had been assessed prior to this one, well, what we can see is the intent, and that is to take away the glissando and take at least keep some core aspects of the melody, and then end up adding in a whole bunch of different ambient spice being thrown into this one. Funnily enough, my attention was more paid onto whether the pads were clean enough, because on these speakers, and at least through Sonobus, it felt like some of the pads were starting to bleed in, particularly in the mid-high frequencies. This is something I'm going to need to end up listening solo to end up understanding that one. But since that seemed to be more of a non-issue compared to is this substantial enough, the big debate we have here, this is something that, as Greg echoed, will take a lot more listens than our off time to try and figure things out. So this is one that can just go either way.
Yeah, I don't.
This is gonna need a few more listens. You go ahead, bud.
I don't know where I land here. Mostly because like the source has like, I don't know, one motif that goes through, and it's not super distinct. And that's the point of the source, is that it's not super distinct. It's meant to have a vibe. It's meant to have atmosphere. And this has vibe and atmosphere. It's very similar. And I got to sit with it in AB. Like, I don't even know, like I'm a question mark here.
I think I got to sit with it as well. I do want to highlight something I did hear that I particularly liked. I don't know. The timestamps. I've got not much reference for it, but I'm guessing it's about a minute 36. It's like that second piano chord right before the end. Not so much non-chord tone, but there's something that's really ugly in it that I enjoyed just for the tension of it.
Can you
being-
play like the last 20 seconds?
right here?
It's a sharp 4. Where that descending line, that da-da, that in there, that's a sharp 4 that's in that. That's why it sounds kind of funky. But you don't notice it because the root steps down by a third. So what initially starts out as a major 9 becomes a sharp 4 with where the chord goes. But because of the voicing, you can't tell it right away. It's really interesting. It's a really nice sound.
Yeah.
Like it. Liked it a lot.
Like production wise and composition wise, I love the space. I love the attention to making, the space work. It is nice and clean. I just don't know. I don't know enough with 2 listens to the source how I feel about where it is conservative or not. I still don't even grok enough of the source to hear the source in it.
I kind of went as y'all were listening through and offering commentary. I went back and listened to the source more so that I could hear it on my headphones. And I don't know, man. I'm definitely more leaning on no now because it does do some things to distinguish itself from the source, but but I'm with Greg, not enough. And there's a couple of things, right? I mean, instrumentation wise, even though you have sort of those fundamental chords, there are other ways to help it stand apart more from the mood and the tone of the original that like I'm not hearing. The length of time of the source and the arrangement being very close, and the tempo, overall being very close. It's what was it Zach that was saying it felt like an alternative track for the OST or something like that? Rocco said that. Yeah, I mean that somebody did, but that's super spot on. And so Argo said that.
Shut up, Rocco's.
Thank you. Yeah. So no, thanks to Argo. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, and look, we've had other submissions that have stood apart from the original enough, but also sound like they could just be dropped into the soundtrack as an alternate version. But you have to think more about it from, say, like, different theme variations from, say, Super Mario World or something like that, right? Where you have the motif and then you're doing just wildly different things with it. This is not in that realm. There's got to be a little bit something more you could do with it, David. And I think, and I'm only strictly speaking from the OC ReMix arrangement and interpretation standards, because I like the track in a vacuum. I think it's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing you'd have to change about
lovely.
it. Yeah, there's nothing you'd have to change about it, just like in a vacuum. But yeah, now that I'm getting a better listen to the original or reflection, I'm like, oh no, there's a lot of Larkin, but I need to hear more of David.
Yeah, it's kind of tough when you're judging something and you like the song, but pass. You can get kind of the wrong idea. It's like, no, pass it because we didn't like it. We actually love the song, but we just don't think it's right for the site. I'm not there yet. I have to give the source and the actual arrangement another couple of passes to really make up my mind. But I'm just saying that's a potential issue I'm having. So I need to spend some more time.
I will admit that if I had heard this and judged this based on my initial reaction to this, I probably would have passed it. And now that we've talked about it some more, I'm not sure I would, because some of what we're saying about how there may not be enough to make it kind of transformative and realized enough makes a lot of sense, but that definitely wasn't my initial reaction to this. I'll be really honest, David, if you add 30 or 40 seconds to this and it gets a little bit more development off of it, like, I'm sold. Again, there's definitely the potential to do something crazy with this, because the original is really cool and it's got some really interesting things to grab onto. I think it's misplaying it to say that it's only really got one thing there, because there's just a lot of, again, looking outside of the notes that are played, that stuff that doesn't get captured in MIDI, like there's some really interesting timbral stuff that you could grab from there, and some rhythmic elements as well with how those things interact that we would be able to pull out that would be more of a tenuous connection, but still would be really cool. But I definitely, now that I've kind of thought about it some more and now that I thought about it a little more, I definitely think that this would be a harder decision. I might still land on the Y side, but
yeah, you might still get yes, because there is an argument for that too. Also, a polka section in the middle would be perfect in distinguishing it.
Oh, look at that. So yeah, David said he wouldn't be able to do anything with this one. The file broke when he changed computers. He'd have to
it's because he heard you say earlier that that's what you think about. So
oh, sure.
He said it so he wouldn't have to make changes. Now we have to say
you could always you have sort of like the wave bass over here, and I'm sure you could get, if you feel like it doesn't corrupt the vision, but yeah, you could have somebody come in and like build on this for sure.
Okay. It sounds like in general our perspective is,
even if it was
think
vocals,
about it some more.
Yeah.
On the bottom side or on the top side.
I'm leaning no, but I would definitely, I don't fully have the judge hat, on, so I'd have to.
You ain't got any hat on. We can see your forehead.
Am I sitting hairline?
All right, cool.
I still got my dog face.
We're almost at 10. We're almost at 10 here,
It's true.
so I might wanna.
How many have we done so far?
4.
Hey, shut up, Adrian.
We've done exactly
That's
4.
that cyber.
So,
If we're still working on it, I need to probably take about a 30-minute break. I got some stuff I got to take care of.
yeah, no worries. You can go.
Oh,
Poop.
we got plenty of judges. That's
I got-
right.
I got
Break.
animals to feed. I got people to feed.
Rocco's has
so-
been sitting here waiting for us to do anything for him.
Right.
Sorry.
I feel like we should move on to Rocco's track.
Okay. I'm gonna miss Rocco's track. Okay. Well.
Well, with that
I'll-
in mind, because he's been waiting so long, maybe we could go to a different one. Where I mean, we're definitely not going to do Zach, but
Okay. Well, then
let's
I'll
do
be
Rocco's.
back probably in about like
Massive
I think
oof.
his wife is hanging out too.
on mute.
Okay, so being serious, which one are we doing next?
We should do Rocco's.
Cool.
Who submitted it first or whatever for the show?
They were submitted almost.
Rocco's was the next one in the list.
Yeah, they're submitted basically at
Let's
the
do
same
Rocco's.
time. That's what's tough.
We're just trying to be egalitarian. That's all good. No
Yeah.
worries.
Thanks to the site, everyone basically had lots of problems getting anything up to us. So
Yeah,
it is what it
Anyway.
is. We have it solved mostly. So
do
Rocco's,
we?
it's getting there. It's getting there. It's closer
Alright,
today than it
cool.
was the last week.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
good, because I've got write-ups that are ready that need to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
just
we
need
have
to
a
format
we have a
and
whole
get them up
album
there.
of
I think the sync is-
mix posts to drop.
Yeah.
So Rocco's has delivered to us another. We've got a Metroid track, of course.
Simonins?
Yeah.
Oh, Simonins.
Simonin Soil, which is the source is.
Give us that lower Brinstar.
Yeah, if you don't know Lower Brinstar by now, you will. So Red Soil area, Lower Brinstar, Super Metroid. Judges, mute your Discord stream audio. This will be your only warning.
Well, heard this before.
Yeah, it loops those two ideas. Which brings us to Cinnamon Soil. That is a chonky waveform. Look at that sausage.
Did you see who it was who submitted it?
Uh-huh. I gotta go get the mash to go with this banger.
Rocco's, can you change your name so that it's all capitals so that it matches just how fat your waveforms are?
Yeah.
It's like straight across.
Yeah.
It's ironic. You're looking for starch and protein with the bangers and the mash of the sausage. Well, cinnamon is meant to be sweet.
Yeah.
Well, brought thirst. You got to drink the sausage.
Oof. All right. I'm just gonna be watching the clip, the peak counter, because it's gonna be fun. Anyway, this is the one warning to mute your streams, judges, for Cinnamon Soil.
Okay.
Nasty.
God damn.
Yeah, that one was all right. That was okay.
Yeah,
I like Zach's little observation there. Every Brinstar arrangement is a cover.
Nobody
Absolutely.
remixes Brinstar because they're like, yeah, I really dig the vibe. They remix Brinstar because the theme is freaking sweet.
Yeah.
So,
It's just very simple for anyone to
but I think that
approach.
there's a good amount of mix up there.
Yeah, after like the
Same thing the whole
60.
time. I mean, it was immediately recognizable. There was a bunch of other stuff going on, and there was stuff to mix it up and everything. I wouldn't have minded if there was like any break section at all. But
You know, like 2 things I was really trying to listen out for in that mix. First of all, percussion was like the main thing I was trying to listen out. Like you would have heard the usual standard beat by. Oh, for what the? Huh?
I can hear her.
Same.
Huh, so I guess it must have been someone on Brad's end then.
Well, I don't know.
That's
the crowd
fine.
hears you too, so go for it, Bev.
Okay. Okay, so going back to what was mentioned, I was paying a lot more attention towards the percussion, trying to listen out for any further breaks rather than just standard and then just trying to identify different ways to end up shaking up the percussion as it goes along. So there's that had been identified just fine. There's obviously a lot of use for the sources of the source itself, which is all good. But then we should also pay attention towards the clip reading on the Seth's screen there. We saw 31 peaks that were on there, but 0 clippings, which is why it's very important for us judges to identify whether something is a clip or if something just grazed the ceiling, so to say. It's in situations like this where something like this could be just a suggestion.
Oh yeah, it definitely kissed the top. I don't think that it went far beyond it. I heard some purposefully crushed stuff, but it wasn't like obnoxiously so. I will say that it does more development in the back 2/3 than it does in the opening third, which is fine. I mean, this track, Red Soil, once you establish it right off the bat, everyone knows what's going on, and then the playfulness happens.
Speaking of playfulness, I hope that somebody takes back the audio of this and samples Bev doing the little breakbeat that she did. That was good. That was fun.
Oh, if you're looking for break beats, hook up Numa Joe because he's the goat when it comes to that. Acapella break beats like that.
That'd be so cool though. Yeah, it was good. I agree with everything though that was just said. Right, you establish the theme and then boom, go off and get more interpretive with it, more playful with it, and yeah, that's what it did as advertised. It was good.
Oh, hello. What I miss?
Rocco's.
The sausage.
I listened to bits and pieces of it. Oh, he doesn't even miss her. That's kind of sad.
He missed the crickets. Oh.
So I don't have the
record last 15.
I enjoyed the variation
That's my
after
wife,
about
too.
the 60 mark there with the rhythm when he really started playing with the beat and also with the melody above it. Finally, like kind of chopping it up a little bit. Nobody understands cricket. What about crumpet?
I
gotta
think
know
Harry
what-
understands cricket because he's trying to make his mouse sound like one.
Idea.
What the? Is your mouse like next to your mic? Like that's astonishing how loud it is.
Well,
How do
Who's
you have
mine?
ears?
my boy. I don't know.
Sorry, Beb, I cut you off. What were you saying?
I was just gonna follow up on that quote. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
Nice. Yeah, I don't get it at all. I spent way too much time watching it, and I was like,
something interesting. I'm kind of bouncing around on the track. I did just sit down and listen to the whole thing. It kind of sounds like it has that crunchy bass effect, like almost throughout the whole song, with just like a small break in the middle. Is that true for the whole track?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, there are moments of breath, but there's not really a true break. Like we have this moment here after about the 40 mark, right?
Oh crap! Yeah.
Right, like we get a little bit of a
Sorry,
break.
I had my output from Discord also up.
Yep.
So if I'm going to generalize a little bit here. I don't listen to Rakos' music because I want something that's going to like change a whole lot over it and do all this different, interesting, like unique, amazing, arrangement stuff. I listen to it so I've got something to tap my steering wheel to when I'm driving somewhere to something like that. Like his music tends to be, I'm generalizing. In general, the stuff that I heard from Rakos is a bop and beat, some really cool concepts, and then you get 3 minutes of that, and then it's done. It's not like it's going to be some huge, crazy, super in-depth arrangement or something like that. And so for something that's a little bit more bare bones, like what the Brinstar melody is, I can see why it would become a little bit more obvious. I guess that's what I'm saying. But like, it's still a fun track. Like, it's still fun to listen to. I wish that there was more. I wish there was a little more development. I wish that all of the time there was one more instrument playing, because in general I always feel like there's a hollow little hole in the middle of the track where a pad or an arp or something would be going on.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you. There feels like there's a it's not bad, but there's a missing piece.
That vibe. Yeah.
No, that's a fair.
But like,
that's
still fun.
That's a fair play.
They're still enjoyable. I enjoy listening to his music. I recognize his music and like it, which is more than I can say about a lot of people. So
I felt like with all of the bass layers, it didn't really need anything on top of what was already there. You're already taking in the accompaniment with what the bass was doing in all of the different octaves along the way, all the way through the wobbles, for the envelopes, through all of the detail that is just brought in, alongside with, of course, the melodic interpretation. It's fine as it is, and this is pretty much like the equivalent of a McRib. You know what you're getting when you go to the restaurant.
Yeah, deliciousness.
Enjoyed the ring mod usage. That doesn't get used enough in tracks, just because it always sounds so disgusting. So it's awesome that you got some worked in here.
Right, zero fear of that. I when Josh pointed out like the pulse width modulation happening in the squares, it like it's probably like another 20 seconds after the point it is on the timeline. Like, that's the part that I think does the development for me. Like, that I'm definitely a why. I'm a yes, and it's really because as soon as we hit about 40% into the track, we get all of the Rakos coming through. That isn't just the and I love that. I love that on like underneath the Brinstar. The things that Rakos does in his arrangements really show through in the back half.
There's nothing wrong with sticking conservative to start out and then developing later into the track. It's a perfectly common approach.
Yeah.
100%.
I like it.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm probably just saying it in a different way and a less articulate way. But I mean, I like the overall development in terms of the beats and kind of the what's the phrase I'm looking for? Kind of like but I don't know. I guess I don't know how to articulate it. But just getting more varied with the presentation of the beats over time. It all works. It all clicks. Yeah, just getting busier. Kind of dropping the sound out here and there.
So you're saying curate the beat more.
Say it one more time.
You're saying curate the beat more.
No. I'm saying I think he did a good. I think he did a good job with what was there, and I think he did do that. I mean, look, I've said in the past with some of Rock's stuff that it could afford to get more varied with the drum and bass beats. So it always could, right? Like you could always sort of establish the fundamentals and then go off a little bit. Go off the reservation a little bit more and kind of bring more ideas to the table. But that said, I didn't have that problem here very much, right? In terms of just it having a static feel, like we were talking about with the FF7 track way before, which obviously is a sort of night and day overall in terms of execution. But I just mean I wasn't bored by the beat.
Does anybody else got any more comments they want to throw out there?
And that was a yes. So that was an easy yes, though. Super straightforward. I mean, obviously, you got to hear it on headphones, hear the levels, make sure nothing's clipping, all that kind of nonsense. But I've heard a lot of Rocco's stuff, so I've heard pretty much every submission that he's had. So it was sounding solid to me.
2 good Lufia tracks. I put them right next to.
Nice.
As long as okay. I fixed the problem with my mic cable. I think this is a pretty easy yes. Throw this on a workout playlist from OCR, and throw it up there.
Nice. Time to keep moving on Zach's, I think.
That's right.
Shit.
Yeah. So this is a Minecraft Christmas arrangement. Sorry, Christmas arrangement is a funny way to put it. It is a Christmas gift for his son.
Ooh.
Yes.
I appreciated that in the submission thread. He was like, it'd be great if this passes and you posted it on Christmas so I can show it to my son as a gift. I get it, man. You want more posts. Like
right. So this pulls from Infinite Spooky Amethyst, which itself pulls from Infinite Amethyst. One of these is Lena Rain, and I can't remember which one because I don't have the thread open right in front of me. We'll probably do Infinite Amethyst first before Infinite Spooky Amethyst because I think it really is just like a build from one idea to the other. Infinite Amethyst is Lena Rain. Okay, and then it seems like in the notes that Infinite Spooky Amethyst isn't actually in the Minecraft OST, like it's pulled from outside. But I think we'll see if there's enough source for that to matter. I'm going to do Infinite Amethyst first, so judges, this is the time to mute your Discord stream. I think apologies to Lena Rain. I'm pretty sure it just does the same thing for the next 30 seconds. So we're going to go to the other one. All right, I'll make that waveform nice and chunky so we can see it. So Infinite Spooky Amethyst, which if it does the exact same thing as the other track, we're just going to move to Zax. That's how I feel about it.
Well, at least it's a nice, clean waveform.
Yeah, I think we've had enough aesthetic for one evening.
I can't
Too
get
bad
mad at
Lucas
the
isn't here for the
detoning.
bad
I've done it.
genre memes.
I mean, we've all done it, but
For my Spoopy remix, no less.
Yes, no one tell Lucas I said that.
We've all done it. But...
Catching strays.
That's right. That's right. All right, so now this one is actually Zach's. And it's the longest one we have for the night at like 5 minutes, 40 seconds, something like that. 6 minutes.
Freaking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the end is dog shit, but like that was freaking fantastic.
There was a lot of detail added on top of the original Infinite Amethyst, but it still had that. It still had that pattern, which was the like da 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 da. That was just like transformed to fit the mood.
And flipped. So let's see how Zach.
I do like it. I do like it with a couple asterisks, and it's not the detuning. I like the detune. You know, it's funny.
Yes,
we love the detune.
Everybody mute Gario.
Yes, and I want to say again the one we just heard.
Gario.
The one we just heard was not Zach's. That was also Source.
That was Source?
That was Source.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me. Pardon my French. Okay, that was a fun Source.
That's right.
Then I won't have any commentary on it. Let's hear Zach's.
Exactly. Strap in, mute the Discord stream, and
wait a minute.
Yes.
You're kidding? You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding. That was not Zach's.
I thought we were just listening to
No, bro.
I heard that there was I heard there was two tracks. I thought we cool.
Yep.
All right, buckle in, folks. Let's not.
All right. Well, at least I was paying attention, but
Oh, come on.
I had a phone call in the middle.
You're the whole time. No idea.
Even I heard there were two sources, and like, how many of us have paid attention?
Okay, anyway, I thought someone said we're... Okay, let's stop embarrassing ourselves.
Game sucks.
Too much detune.
Oh, this is much more Christmassy.
damn, you don't let anything play out, do you?
So we're passing that, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's too good. I have to give
Alright.
it a no.
You would.
I see a
No.
discussion in the chat about Omnisphere, which was one of the samples that was used in the mix. Zach ended up mentioning everything that was used in the loadout. And then a question ended up appearing saying, like, does one have to buy Omnisphere because everyone else is using it? I mean, it's particularly Joker, who couldn't really afford the thing right now.
You can
even
buy
Voodoo Queen
Omnisphere
can't afford it.
used.
I can't
That might
afford
be
it.
How much is it? How much is it?
$600, isn't it?
I got it for $200 used on Caton
Oh.
Video
Son of a
in
gun.
You mean-
2015.
Is this the physical disc rather than the download?
You can transfer your license once. Spectrasonics will let you transfer it once, and I got it transferred to me, and I paid $10 more to be able to download the entire library directly, as opposed to already having the disc. So
Yeah, it's pretty pricey. It's pretty pricey though.
it's expensive.
It does
but I've
sound really
used
good,
it
though.
essentially on every track I've done for the last decade, almost exclusively. It's very functional if you know what you're doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I believe
It's not
it.
the best, but it's very good.
Too expensive for me. I'd rather just chip out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have so many synth
Use
libraries.
crappy.
It's just I gotta make use of what I have. What I think about the track is I like that Zach took elements of both Infinite Amethyst and Spooky Amethyst, and then smashed them together. Like it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like it wasn't just let's throw some club stuff in. Like there's a lot of sauce that's been added onto here that is. I think it elevates both of the sources in a way that the second, like Spooky Amethyst elevates it. This is like the next level. It's the third evolution.
You know, it's kind of funny when I thought that Spooky Amethyst next track. One of the comments I was going to make was the kick needs to have more room. You know, you need to either sidechain or carve some space for it because it was actually really kind of interfering with the bass. You know what Zach did on this track? He gave it all. It sounded fantastic. So praise for that. Already better than the source.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I particularly liked the break in the middle that was just the kick when we had the string swells. I think that strings are the thing that Zach does the best, and it really showed through really clearly there. It was just a beautiful adaptation of that. I thought that was really good.
It was kind of weird. There was one part in there where the guitar, where the strings kind of started swelling, took it. It almost felt accidental. I don't know how one could make that sound more intentional, but it just sounded like, oh shit, your strings are drowning it out. Oh wait, and then like 10 seconds into it, I'm like, oh wait, I think he wants them. Which kind of was weird, but I'm like, okay, it's not killing me.
Yeah, this would be one of those tracks that I'm like, yeah, this is an easy vote.
Yeah, this.
I would write my recap and then be like, yeah, this was easy, great job, and then I wouldn't say any comments on it because it just makes me feel mad.
I probably would have just direct posted it, but since we're here,
I'm more
think my
likely
vote
to
would
detect
just
all
say-
of the different. Well,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm more likely to end up detecting all of the different ways that the very simple motif, the da 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 da, was used throughout, and at least transformed to end up finding all of the different means possible. It's like the core ingredient of all of this. I even noticed in one particular section where it was like off bar, so that it started on the second measure as opposed to anything else, and it just gave it this like different melodic feel. So I was like, okay, well, we're getting into some creative places with that one. But yeah, I definitely need to listen back to that one and take in all of the different ways this little melody got twisted and played around.
Yeah, I will add this to be kind of a nitpicky asshole. 2 points. One was there's like 1 or 2 points where I'd say say that one of the synths was a little bit heavy on the highs and kind of pierced over everything, but generally everything fixes itself after a couple 20 seconds of any problematic synth. So I'm not going to say no based on that. The other thing is towards the end of the song, ironically, it did start sounding a little bit static because there's only so much you can do with instruments and laid down here. It ended at maybe just about 20 seconds past where I think it should have ended, but that's a minor gripe. It was still great.
Yeah, there was one transition that I felt it didn't go well. It was near the beginning. It was like all of a sudden there was a transition and it sounded like weird. And then after that, it was incredible.
It set itself.
Yeah.
All right. So we got a yes.
That would be easy.
There's enough good stuff in this happening that I'm pretty sure my vote just reads "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal," and then a yes.
Oh, we still have 7 days
Larry
to post it.
this in like a random Saturday in May.
True to form, it'll be April.
He wouldn't do that to us.
Nice, man. Cinco de Mayo.
All right.
Let me see what Saturdays we have in May. May 9th. May 9th looks good.
Honestly, I think Larry should post it on Christmas. Post it.
Can you post it on June 7th?
Is there any special significance to June 7th other than being
that a 6-7 joke?
Oh God!
100% it's a 6-7 joke. Okay.
Wow, it sure was. I should have missed it there. Oh well.
We're at 10:40. We're at 10:40 p.m. Eastern time is where we're at. Do we go one more? Or do we call it?
Let's do one more, and then let's be done. So.
No, Larry needs to be May 19th. Larry.
Yeah, of course.
How many do we even have left?
We have 2 left.
We have one that doesn't have. Let's. Oh shoot, Adrian's here. We can't not do his song, but he's got a complicated source.
Well,
is it
one? They're not
complicated source?
Shinobi Reverse is not complicated. It's one thing that happens.
Oh,
over
that's
and
not.
over.
That's
not no.
Yeah.
Shinobi Reverse.
I mean,
I was just commenting that he's got more than one.
It's. I mean, he does.
As soon as you mentioned Shinobi Reverse, I was like, oh, it's that track from Streets of Rage 3.
People hate Shinobi
from
Reverse.
The other track?
Wow.
Audio Mocha.
I like Shinobi.
Audio Mocha. Do we? Yeah, none are present.
Great.
I like Shinobi Reverse.
Let's do the one for Adrian.
All right. I'll do the lesser known. Lesser known.
Hey, show of hands in the chat who has never heard Shinobi Reverse before.
That would
Just
be me,
say,
sir.
Say haven't heard it and
never heard it.
Get ready.
Adrian put the hand up to join the stage.
Yeah, I did the same thing too. I've never heard it before. Just kidding.
Yep.
Hell no.
Etrian Thaws. Okay.
Yo, does he want to join the stage?
He was joking, I think. Yeah.
I was going to invite him and then immediately kick him. Let's listen to the music.
Yeah. We'll do the Lost Shinjuku Labyrinth 5 from Etrian Odyssey first, since I think it's the lesser known of the sources.
Which one is this one, Etrian Odyssey?
And there's the loop. It's a nice 4-section piece from Yuzo Koshiro. All right, and now everyone's favorite Shinobi reverse.
Gonna do the same thing some more.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the bridge, and it's everything. I mean, it seems like hypocrisy after what happened in GSM4, but not really. This has a thing that is instantly
Speaking of,
recognizable.
Firing that snare into the sun.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Amazing.
I have no idea what Koshiro was on, other than that he made a track and then turned it in reverse and put a different drum loop on it and then hit submit.
That's actually very true there, Seth, because if you end up hearing the little that's actually the opening bit for the first stage BGM for the Revenge of Shinobi.
Yeah.
It was that segment that was just taken and reversed. Yeah.
That sounded awful.
It has some sauce.
You have to understand where the beat is and just anchor yourself to that, and then the track makes way more sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sure, it can have sauce, but if I put hot sauce, chocolate, it's still going to taste like crap.
Why did I choose the source? Because it was round 3. We were at the very end of GSM, and that's when you pull out the dick moves.
You know what? The worse the source is, the better the remix is going to be. That's all I got to say.
Everything except for Sigma 1 from X4. Nothing saves that pile of dog. Anyway.
Hey, wait a minute. I did that song.
I'm going to look at you with a... Anyway. We're running long as it is. So this is Etrian Thaws' Shin outro. By basically the entirety of the GSM3 Streets of Rage team. I think we got basically everybody on it. Anyway, yeah, mute your stream.
You two need to mute and stop talking because you don't get to talk since you're in this.
Larry's having a bit of an existential crisis down there.
What did I just hear? What the fuck did I just hear?
I felt like
nothing
felt
is
like it
bad,
just-
but I just don't know. I don't know what I just heard though. I love the Streets of Rage title theme just showing up. Like, what the hell? That was great. What? Oh, sweet.
Maybe that's stuff I don't recognize. Play more.
Man. Yeah, I
It's
didn't
a lot
realize
of-
that one.
It's a lot of like feeling like noodling because there's kind of a lack of progression to help kind of keep it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it feels really disjointed because of that.
It's a very
Noodle-
eclectic arrangement. Sorry.
Dude.
Go ahead, Rex.
Noodling feels right because to me that felt like opening up a freshly cooked pan of spaghetti and spilling it all over the floor, struggling to find the start of the lead. That's what it musically feels like.
You're not wrong.
So-
The joke here is it's still edible.
I kind of, in the beginning, I kind of like the beginning part, the opening, the beats. I almost like the minimalistic approach. Once it hits like the fit, I was kind of listening to it on Audacity, doing some stuff on Sonoros for me, but yeah, once it hits like the 145, 150 second mark, it starts getting odd. And the mixing is a little bit smashed in that there's nothing I can focus on. Everything seems to sound like it's at the same level. So I can't really parse the leads from the kicks, from the bass, from the texture at a lot of points. Which makes my ears a little tired. They get a little eerie.
Yeah. To that point with the drums, there's definitely some overcompression of drums. I marked at like 76. I was noticing them because that was kind of when they started to kind of come in their earnest.
Yeah. And the background, you got to be careful of some of the pads. I was hearing some bleed over between chords, which is creating unintentional clashing.
Yeah.
Like it happened a lot after the 3. It was just like you just let it ring for too long.
I had marked like 2 wet reverb. It might be that. It might just be overlap too.
Yeah, it could also just be wet, but yeah, it's the pads that are really causing the issue there.
Yeah. So that was right before then. At 68 is when I first noticed that.
Sorry, when we don't have when the song changes, we have nothing. I'm so sorry.
Transition at 40 made me go, "What the fuck?" Like actually out loud.
Yeah, it like morphs from
You called it out in the chat.
it morphs from like 3/4 to like a smashed together free time of like 5 and 9. There's noodles happening. It was noodles then, and it's
So-
noodles now.
A to E flat.
Yeah,
what the heck, guys?
it's not only is it a key change, but it's a time signature change, and neither is prepared. So they're both very sudden.
It was
You know,
worse
funny,
Jumping
a week
off of
ago.
It felt like jumping off of a train into a station of speeding of like half melted Jello.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to give
It's like,
credit.
okay.
I have to give credit where it's due, though. There does sound like there's like a lot of songs that sound great, but they just don't all work together as a song.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That probably is intentional too. To be fair,
There was no unifying arranger for this. It really does and sounds like 9 people in a vacuum threw stuff at it, and then we mixed it in a bowl.
I've heard of too many cooks in the kitchen before, but that's a new way of putting it.
Yeah.
Nine women can't make a baby in 1 month.
that's one way to put
Yep.
it.
I mean, I guess you could get all the cooks on one ladle, and everyone's trying to stir it all at the same time. All their hands are on one ladle.
9 ratatouilles. It's
Just
just
not very
ratatouille
easy.
on ratatouille.
That's the.
I mean, it's
sequel,
one of those-
Ratatouille. Huh?
I was saying it's like I'm sure the submission has notes on the breakdown, which would help me appreciate it on a
Brad put it in the
on a
chat.
more granular level, but at the same time the overall critique of doesn't sound focused. That's where I was at. I like I said, the Streets of Rage title thing. I was laughing my ass off because I was just like, dude, that felt like a non sequitur, even though it's not supposed to be. So I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, like,
I saw
feel
you
like there was a
rolling in that chair.
It did. I just didn't feel like there was a flow to it. Like, how did we wind up here? Is more like when I know the premise is that you're using the themes across both Etrian, Odyssey, and Streets of Rage. But I'm like, dude, like the whole build. I don't know. Maybe the Streets of Rage title theme was just so recognizable. Yeah, that it was like a jump scare. Like
I'm not gonna lie.
alluded to.
The funniest thing is that Streets of Rage jump scare actually fit in so well with the chords that were going on at that point. So it just felt like it just slid itself in like a jigsaw puzzle before it could let itself just do its own thing.
Well,
yeah, this is probably the wrong song to try and end the night on. We're all so tired of the other ones. We're like, oh my god.
There is no good time to drop this one in. So Adrian dropped in the title theme in there, and I changed the backing chords to fit it.
All right.
So it sounds like we all are kind of like, okay, we need to listen to this a couple more times, because it sounds like we're not grokking the connections to the source as well as maybe we could have. And it also sounds like there's a couple things in here that are like, why on earth did that happen to my ears?
Yeah.
When it did.
To be fair, I would vote no on this, and not because of source connection, but because of like arrangement and production. And I say that having been in the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't need to listen again. I could go through again to make more specific notes, but I'm gonna note this.
Yeah, this is probably a no in our book, but it's was entertaining for what it's worth.
I wouldn't. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go. I don't know if I would go that far, but again,
before I would say no.
Yeah, I need to understand better what I'm hearing there.
Yeah, yeah, we can't just say no. We have to say
no.
Maybe no.
Just a maybe no.
No streets.
Yeah.
No rage.
The Streets of Rage brings it to a yes.
No streets.
Take it back to the Odyssey.
Street tier.
Like, I will say
If you take away the rage and you take away the streets, does that mean the name of the band is just Against the?
Pretty much.
Well, there's still Machine.
Still a machine.
Wait, but I thought it was Streets of Rage, so it's just the band's name is Of.
What a great name for a band, dude. SEO friendly.
The Of.
Hell yeah. The
Love.
Like OF? I don't think I can say those words in my house. Like,
oh fuck.
The Of with their hit single Love Glove.
I don't think we'd give him much useful commentary past the initial reaction.
Hey,
nope.
So then let's take so I get it's the end of the night, but like let's take a step back. So it sounds like one of the things that we would want to focus on here is finding a more cohesive way to be able to tie these together in a way that doesn't make it feel like it's very jumping around non sequitur. Like, we want to tie the elements together. Now, there's a couple ways to do that beyond just like not changing keys by a tritone, because what the hell are you thinking? But like, you can also use instrumentation to help tie things together. You can use the representation of the melody or whatever to tie things together. But it sounds like there needs to be another pass on that. Do we agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, pretty agreed on that. Also, watch your mixing on a lot of cases. Mixing is focused, because that amplifies the everyone's getting lostness to the track.
There's definitely some neat ideas in there. Again, it just needs to be tied together with like one person's vision as opposed to 9 people's vision.
Or
there's definitely a lot to like in the arrangement, for sure. But yeah. Right. Everyone else tired?
Yep.
I don't know about leads fighting for dominance. I don't.
There was a couple times where I felt that there was a little bit of stuff running into each other.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and that's not a problem throughout the whole mix either. It's just some part.
Well, and let's be clear here. Like, a key thing we want to keep in mind is it's not just like what's loudest that's actually the lead part, but like it needs to fit in what's going on, right? Like, so I feel like there was definitely some times where we had like a bit here and a bit there and a bit there, and they weren't really representing all the same song at the same time. And so finding a way to make things feel more cohesive, both vertically within the stack and horizontally within the arrangement, I feel like is going to be helpful.
Played too much Magic when you said the stack.
Oh god. It fizzles, Greg. It fizzles.
Oh, well, son of a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
All right, these are the things that we talked about. So does anybody got anything else they want to call out?
No, I think I'm good.
Shinobi Reverse is a terrible source.
It is. Oh,
yeah, that's
horribly
terrible.
cursed.
No way.
Horribly
Arrangement
cursed.
was much better than the source.
You could simplify it or grab just certain aspects of it and kind of work with it.
Which is
whatever.
Which is basically what we did. I turned the whole reversal thing, slowed it down, and played it on acoustic guitar. Which is why I think you're having trouble like grasping it immediately. You'll grab it on repeated listens. I mean, like the A section from Shinjuku is straight up exactly as presented. It won't be hard to grab the sources, but I do agree that there are sections that I would probably, if it were just my vision, I would wholesale cut and then expand what's there to make work. And part of it is just that like none of us had a vision, but we had a track due. So that's what we did. I would love to go back with Adrian and make like more granular and focused like adjustments to this once there's like time for it.
So I see another post in the chat. The Judge No Trifecta, Lo-Fi or Vaporwave, bad detuning, WTF sources. I mean, I don't know. We've been fine with WTF sources in the past, and I'm very confident that there is a way to end up interpreting Shinobi Reversed to see it as something to put on OCR. It just needs a lot more focus than what we've seen here. This hodgepodge.
She calls it like the WTF sources, but she's the one that submitted that Shinobi 3 robots one, and that was a major one, and that passed after a resubmit. So you know what?
In her defense,
You're just as guilty. You're just as guilty.
Robots. She's super guilty. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Voodoo Queen getting called out, I guess.
I still got to refix that Sailor Moon Pico remix.
No, you
I got to get back to that. It was awesome. Shut up.
We 3-end an Edivis towards a dark 3Y.
No.
It'll come back, I swear. We need more Picos.
Speaking of 3N, thanks everybody for joining us. We're all just drifting off in an inane.
Yeah,
So.
I think everyone's starting to drift.
Thanks everyone for hanging. Appreciate the time. We'll see you in June.
All right.
For more no show.
7th. Okay.
Yeah, June 7th is what I'm hearing. It'll be at 6 or 7 p.m.
Oh. No.
I'm gonna click the end stage for everyone.
Wait.
That's right. And VOD Warriors will see you there.